Wouldn't it be great if kids were inherently grateful? It would make this month of November, where in the US we're celebrating Thanksgiving, it would like be this reciprocal interaction where all of the things that we're doing as we move into more of a holiday season feel like they're really like being appreciated and our children are receiving them and we're seeing the fruits of all of the things that we do to create the home and family culture that we're really wanting. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the 5 love languages where you have some input in the ways that you connect with your child so that they feel that your relationship is meaningful. Now, if you haven't heard of the 5 love languages developed by Gary Chapman, it's basically this concept that kids experience love in different forms. And when we tune into their unique love language, we can help them to feel deeply valued and understood. This then, in turn, can create more sense of reciprocity or collaboration when it comes to listening. And the goal then over time, as your relationship develops, is that your children then respond to you in ways where you also feel valued and understood. The 5 love languages are quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation, gifts, or acts of service. When you can understand what love language categories your child or children fall into, and meet those needs, it can positively impact their behavior and strengthen your bond. So let's dive right in. Love language number 1, quality time. We're going to start with quality time because it's so common that we feel maybe interrupted while we're busy. Children might be clinging, they might be demanding of our attention. And if we're looking at this from a meet needs perspective, what this could mean is that your child is asking for quality time with you. So, quality time is about being fully present and undistracted and giving your child moments of undivided attention. So, if you think your child falls in the category of this, here's how you do it. You can set aside 15 to 30 minutes of focused child directed play. Now, play is always an interesting word because sometimes we think about a little kid who's playing with Legos. But I also like to talk about the concept of happy chemicals. If you're spending child quality time with your child, happy chemicals is doing something that brings a smile to their face, things that they enjoy. Now, ideally, this is not related to screens or electronics, um, especially when it comes to if you really are engaged with them in crafts or reading or going for a walk together, your device is also hidden so that you can focus on them and not hypertask to some of these pings that might be trying to grab your attention. And then you heard me say quality time. If you're spending time together and your child loves to read, books are another way that you can lounge in the same room, maybe on a couch, mirror their body posture. What happens when you read a book in the same room as your child, if that's something they're interested in, is it shows them they are worthy and that their interests matter to you. And then the other thing for quality time, if you have the ability, it could be doing a surprise visit. So if this feels appropriate for your child's personality and their school classroom, is there a way that you can show up to help them to feel valued and cherished? Is there a way that you can volunteer with some of the things that are part of their daily lives or their interest? These small acts of time together can help your child to feel loved and help reduce attention seeking or negative behaviors because it's like their love tank is filled. All right, moving right into love language number 2, this is physical touch. So sometimes when your child is clinging or like physically hanging on you, or negative touch behaviors like hitting a sibling or running into you and giving bear hugs or like kind of smacking you when you walk by, sometimes this is a seek for connection through touch. And so physical touch can provide security and bonding if you're doing it in a way that fills the love tank. So hugs and high fives are really great ways of offering physical touch. And for kids who have bigger emotions and behavioral reactions, if they don't have a sensitivity to loud noises or loud touch, they might really like the bear hug from you or the high affect high five, because that can create happy chemicals and excitement in their brain as well. Snuggle sessions on the couch after a long day where they can share their feelings or just be in contact with you is another way of filling this love language bucket. And then playful touch. So these could be things like if you can offer them a piggyback ride, again, age dependent. This might be wrestling, which can span across a wide age range, or things like Tickle Monster. If your child enjoys that, that could give them joy and connection too. If your child wants something that's a little less high affect, then you could do something like a secret hand squeeze. So you might have 3 squeezes. That means I love you, like a way to help them feel love even when words are unspoken. So physical touch is a tangible way to show children love, which can boost their emotional security and often help them feel calmer. All right, moving into love language number 3, we are talking about words of affirmation. I, as a national speaker and verbal person, love words of affirmation. Some kids thrive when they hear encouraging words because it builds their confidence and strengthens their sense of self-worth. I know there's a lot of question out there like, what's appropriate? Should I praise? Should I not praise? Is that going to decrease their internal motivation because they're going to relying on me externally? I think that when we're raising children, there's a whole perspective, a holistic perspective we need to take in terms of their love language, their personality, their temperament, their brain science, your personality, your energy and capacity. So there's a lot of things that go into this. So I'm just going to report on words of affirmation and how if a child has this need or tendency to have their love tank filled by your words of affirmation, then you could simply do daily I loves you, daily I love yous. It's simple, it can be frequent, and it can show your love and support. If you've ever been in a relationship with somebody who said, I love you more than you said it back, that could mean that they love the words of affirmation. And when you say it back, it is that simple way to reaffirm them. I do love you too, and my feelings haven't changed. So this can be really helpful if a child is wondering about their self-worth just in general. Another idea is notes in a lunchbox or on their pillow. So you can surprise them not by showing up at school necessarily, but having a note of encouragement that could brighten their day. And then I am really a big fan of letting them overhear you bragging. So this could be public praise where you compliment them in front of others. That can help them feel noticed and proud. Or it could be something where you're talking to somebody like a family member or a friend and you say something like, wow, when my child put all of their things away, I felt really proud of them because it shows how responsible they are. They really care about our family space. You're not looking for evidence that your child heard you. And if you peek over at them, a child who likes words of affirmation, you'll often see like a smirk or a lightness come up into their eyes. So using positive words helps children feel valued and reinforces their positive qualities. Love language number 4 is gifts. So when we're talking about gifts, you know that this love language applies to your child if sometimes if they remember who gave them a specific gift. They might ask you like, when did I get this? Who gave it to me? Or they'll just recall it on their own. And it doesn't have to be something extravagant. It can be something that's a thoughtful gesture that can mean the most. So homemade gifts, they might like to tell you the story of the origami animal or the simple bracelet that somebody made for them, and that gives them a smile. I have a 4-year-old at home who attends nature preschool, so he always loves his like little treasures. So flowers or finding a unique rock, and he'll say, Mom, look at this beautiful rock, and he'll often give that to me. Simple gifts can carry great meaning. And then surprise notes can be like a gift if you make it into a scavenger hunt. You're giving them a clue that there's something special that's happening. And then, of course, like celebration surprises. So maybe there's something that you add to their room. We have an interest in our household right now of rockets. So if I draw a planet poorly, or we find a star that we can stick on the wall, these small gifts show your child who might have this love language that you're thinking of them, which again reinforces their sense of being cherished and remembered by you. And then finally, fifthly, the 5th love language is acts of service. So acts of service is really interesting because sometimes we think if our child is saying, make my lunch and put my shoes on, and I need you to help pick out my clothes. Sometimes this is that something that they already know how to do, but they're craving the love language of you offering this act of service to show them support and make them feel cared for. So help with tasks, like I'm talking about, sitting next to them during homework, helping them to get started on chores as a sign of support. Um, I loved when I was researching this, offering a warm blanket that you might put in the dryer before bedtime on a chilly night. That might be relevant for those of you living in the Northern Hemisphere as we're waiting for the season to actually turn from warm to cool. Teaching your child new skills. So taking the time to show them how to do something new. Maybe there's a project or a craft or something like cooking, which can build their confidence and show them love. And you can hear already that sometimes these love languages kind of mix together. That would also um, work if your child has a love language around quality time. So you might not be able to sort through what's what, but in all of these, what you're hearing is there's a presence, there's a thoughtfulness, there's an act of um, helping your child to feel like they're remembered and cherished and supported. So also, if your child loves acts of service, it's special bedtime routine where you're going the extra mile, tuck-ins, songs, doing monster checks under the bed. Of course, again, that's relevant to the age of your child. So knowing that small acts of service reassure them that you're there to support them and helping them to feel loved and secure. So I wanted to share these 5 love languages with you this season so that you have an empowered way to strengthen your connection with your child, to meet their emotional need, and whether it's quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation, gifts, or acts of service, all of these expressions of love have the potential to fill your child's love tank and support positive behavior. Because when your child has these happy chemicals inside, it decreases stress chemistry like adrenaline and cortisol, can help them to be less likely to trigger into big feelings or big reactions, especially if this is done regularly, where your child feels that they can count on you sprinkling this in their love language in throughout the week. And then how this can support you, of course, is not only can it feel good if you see this taking hold in your child, but then oftentimes you'll see your child reciprocate this. They might be asking to spend quality time or accompany you if you're doing a project or doing something around the house, or providing some more physical touch as a way to show that they love you in return. So we don't expect children to fulfill our own love language because that is our role with them. But I'm just saying that you will notice then that if they feel good inside, you will see them returning that to you as their way of showing that appreciation and happiness. Is it exact gratitude? Is it exact Thanksgiving for the season? Maybe not, but it's that positive connection that can put us on that path of establishing positive values and culture in our family so that we can all feel grateful when we start our days and the life that we have together. Now, if you are looking for more tips, keep an eye out for Small Business Saturday. We are going to be offering a 40% discount on Mad to Glad Blueprint, where you can learn the 8 pillars of parenting to create more peace at home. Might be nice to do during this holiday season. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and we'll be sure to send that your way.